I think that, again, barring more information coming to light that kind of spooks these senators, he will likely get confirmed. I think the danger for Republicans politically is going forward, if anything comes out beyond what we have seen, if anything new happens while he is Secretary of Defense, that will look terrible for Republicans, because you can't say there weren't warning signs. You can't say he didn't know better. Republicans are making a conscious decision to say, we hear these things, we just don't care enough about them to really thoroughly investigate. We're willing to look past them because character doesn't matter anymore. Morality doesn't matter anymore to be Secretary of Defense. These are not disqualifying accusations and allegations. So that's the bet that Republicans are making. They're staking their reputation, their names, and their vote on the idea that going forward, Pete Hegseth will be a stand-up citizen.
And we'll see what happens, I guess, from their point of view, from everybody's point of view. But I think there are probably 2 or 3 more in the, in terms of Trump nominees that are not shoo-ins by any means and might not make it. We'll see. Let me first show the video of John Ratcliffe getting sworn in. He's already made it. He was approved, and he was just sworn in moments ago by J.D. Vance. So he gets in as CIA director. But other members of what Trump is putting together as his leadership in the intelligence community, Brian, whether it's Kash Patel, whether it's Tulsi Gabbard, those are still question marks. We'll talk about RFK in a minute, but those are still question marks, no?
They are. And I think that ultimately Tulsi Gabbard is probably, if you're going to pick somebody who's least likely to get through, I think it's her. Right. Okay. I mean, she's a former Democratic member of the Congress. She doesn't have those kinds of relationships that some of the other folks have. And she has said some pretty outlandish things relative to national security.
Yeah, so, about Syria, about Russia. Yep.
Yeah, I think that is, she is maybe the one. And I think that, they'll be looking, at a couple of others, but that might be as far as Republican senators are willing to go.
Yeah, because, you do have usually, even now, Kurt, I think the Senate especially, if the president's picked the person, we saw Marco Rubio, 99-0. You give the president the benefit of the doubt, won the election. But if you had to pick one of the remaining, is Brian right? Is it Gabbard, or is it somebody else for you that you think might be in trouble?
And I think the person most likely to get himself in trouble is Bobby, RFK Jr. This is someone who has. Yeah, he is undisciplined at best, is used to being kind of his own principal. He's not a politician per se. Tulsi's a former member of the House. She knows how these hearings work. She gets the game. Rubio understood that, performed very well. Hegseth was very well prepped for it, being a TV personality. Bobby is the kind of guy who will answer the question that is asked of you, right, which anyone who has done these hearings before will tell you, don't answer.
That's the last thing you want to do. Anybody who's been advising, or you guys know, it's like the last thing you want to do is actually answer the question.
Himself into trouble. And he's one of the few people in all of this that actually has fire on the right and the left at times due to his position on abortion.
That's the issue. Let's put up this article from The Hill that addresses that, because that's the issue, is that and I guess maybe Gabbard has a little bit of that, but you're right. Kennedy hears it from both sides. RFK Jr. facing mounting bipartisan criticism, it says. His bipartisan opponents, including liberal advocates, organization founded by former Vice President Pence, argue that the nominee to lead the Department of Health and Human Services is not fit to serve as secretary. So anytime you're in a tight race here, you can't afford to lose much. And if you're hearing it from both sides, that might be trouble. You think, Brian, though, that Kennedy gets through, or no?
I think ultimately RFK gets through, and here's why. He's just too high profile and too beloved by Trump's base for many Republican senators to go against him. So now the question mark here, is exactly, as we were talking about, if he says something just totally out of bounds in these hearings or goes way off the rails. But, the world we live in now, how badly would you have to do to disqualify yourself? I mean, the rules have changed. And so I do think, you think about RFK's endorsement of Trump was a huge deal. It was really hyped up in Trump world. And so I do think that all of that and all of that base support behind him just makes it too hard. Even what's interesting here, of course, is imagine just a few years ago, a pro-choice person being nominated by a Republican president to be the Secretary of Health and Human Services. I mean, it's crazy. And here, I think these Republican senators are willing to, look the other way on that. because of the strength of support from the Trump base for RFK.
And the base likes him, and then Trump probably feels maybe Kurt like he owes him. And that was an interesting moment when he declassified all those files for his father's assassination, his uncle's assassination, and Dr. King. He took the pen and he said, "Give this to RFK Jr." We were watching it when they played it back. Any quick thoughts, by the way, on all that from both of you guys? The declassification of the files, or it's not something you were following before we go?
This is something that's really important to Bobby, just on a personal level. And again, I'm old enough to remember what it was like to sit across from him and Cheryl at dinner, and just 3 years ago, and hear them bemoan Donald Trump. So it is a bit of a mind flip to now see them standing right there applauding, getting pens signed by Donald Trump. But this is something very personal, obviously getting the truth out about JFK's assassination. I know this has been a crusade for Bobby's entire life.